talked about before, and I want to begin to have you think about, is that the saboteurs and sage both tap into the same exact strength, underlying strength that you have. And it's really important for us to know that that is the case, and brings us a new definition, a way of looking at where saboteurs come from. That's actually a little bit deeper, a little bit more empowering than until now the way we have talked about it. Until now, we've been thinking about it at a more simplistic level. And now, starting with this session, I want you to think about a little bit more in-depth, looking at who are saboteurs, where do they come from, how come we all have it, and in particular, look at the way that saboteurs and sage tap into the same exact strength. So you can actually predict a person's saboteurs by knowing their greatest natural strengths. If you tell me what somebody's saboteur is, I can tell you what their greatest natural strengths are. And so one way to look at it is that the saboteur turns your greatest strength into your greatest weakness by abusing or overusing that great strength. And when I give you a few examples of it, it becomes very obvious. For example, if you tell me somebody has a pleaser saboteur, I tell you that one of their greatest natural strengths is they're deeply empathic people. And empathy is an incredibly important power and strength to have when used by the sage for the purpose of the sage. But it becomes a pleaser when that power of empathy is being abused or overused. That's when it becomes a pleaser. Another example, the hyper-rational. The rational function of the mind is incredibly important. That's an amazing power we have. So the power is good, the strength is good. It becomes the hyper-rational saboteur when that saboteur abuses or overuses the rational function. But the sage could use the rational function to great advantage. So once again, notice the power and the strength is good, but the saboteur turns it into a weakness. Another example, stickler. If you tell me somebody has a stickler saboteur, I tell you they have a strength of being orderly and organized. They can bring that strength to really serve their family, serve themselves, serve the world. That's an awesome strength for their sage to use. But when the stickler gets hold of it, it abuses it and overuses it and converts it from being a greatest strength of that person to the greatest weakness of that person. This is absolutely true with every single saboteur. And it's one way to begin to look at the saboteur conversation that can actually be more empowering to your clients once you go beyond the superficial elements of understanding the saboteur. And what it helps us tackle is a very critical, dangerous lie that your clients have been telling themselves, and even some of you coaches have been telling yourself, and it keeps coming up over and over and over again, even in the middle of the 6-week program, even towards the end of the 6-week program. Still there are people who will say the following thing: but my saboteurs are sometimes helpful, aren't they? I need my saboteurs. They are not always bad. They are also often very good. The stickler helps me be organized. The controller helps me get shit done, on and on and on. And it's an incredibly dangerous lie, because the moment your saboteur says, I am sometimes good for you, then it's opening the door to coming in and saying, I'm your friend, I'm your friend, I'm your friend. And it's the beginning of the end of you being able to really take on the lies of your saboteurs, because it has now proved to you, I am your friend. This is an incredibly important lie you want to intercept in yourself and in your clients. And I just gave you the way to talk to how to intercept that. The way you do it is, hey, so it's really critical for you to reframe this for your clients by saying, your saboteur is never your friend and never your best option. It just never, ever, ever is, period. No exceptions. What is true is keep the strength but let go of the saboteur. Keep the rational mind, but let go of the hyper-rational. Keep the empathy, but let go of the pleaser. Keep the ability to be organized and bring order, but have your sage use it. Let go of the stickler. Those saboteurs are not your friend. And so basically what you'd be saying is have your sage use that strength. Instead, examples, sage using empathy or rational problem solving or organizational detail as needed instead of pleaser, hyper-rational, or stickler. Do you see how we are definitive, forceful, never your friend? Because I can't tell you how big this lie is, and I can't tell you how destructive it is. It is the way the saboteurs justify their existence. You've got to be incredibly forceful about this. More than 1 second of negative emotion, hand on the hot stove, you are hijacked by your saboteurs. Let's not go down the list of excuses of why they are your friend. The sage will use those powers without feeling negative emotion. That's the whole difference. The way we know the sage is using that strength is the sage has positive emotions as it is using the strength. The saboteur cause negative emotions and negative consequences as they're using that strength. That's how you tell the difference. Okay, so now